hipfire. Do you want the best of both worlds? You are on the right video. What I'm about to teach you will work on any iOS device or Android device and is suitable for both PUBG Global and BGMI players. I will start by explaining the basics and then immediately show you how to fix your hipfire sensitivity, then move into fixing your scope sensitivity. And finally, I will give important tips and tricks on recoil control and my sensitivity code. You first need to know what each sensitivity setting does. Camera sensitivity. This is the sensitivity related to moving your camera using just your fingers. ADS camera sensitivity. This is the sensitivity related to moving your camera using your fingers while firing. Gyroscope camera sensitivity. This is the sensitivity when you are moving the camera while tilting your device. Gyroscope ADS sensitivity. This is the sensitivity related to controlling your camera when firing using just the tilting motion of your device. Now let's focus on fixing your hipfire sensitivity. Make sure you disable horizontal swipe acceleration. First, focus on the camera sensitivity. We will adjust the third-person no-scope. You should be able to make a complete 180-degree turn easily. Let's try to do this. Right now, the sensitivity is too low, so I will increase it to 140. Now it is quite easy to make a 180-degree turn. Make sure you are able to shift your aim between nearby targets as well. I recommend values 120 to 145. Try this yourself and set the most suitable value for you. Next, let's move on to camera ADS settings and focus on the TPP no-scope settings. The main goal is to be able to shift your aim between targets while firing. Don't worry about the recoil control at this stage. A shortcut to selecting this is to look at your camera TPP no-scope. Add 10 to this. Now set this as your ADS value. This should work quite decently, but feel free to adjust it according to your preference. Next, let's look into the gyroscope camera sensitivity. Focus on the TPP no-scope sensitivity. Start by setting this to 330. Make sure you can smoothly shift your aim between targets using gyroscope. Try to do this while you are doing a jiggle movement. If this is not perfect, then check if the sensitivity is too high or too low. Is the sensitivity too high? If this is the case, lower the sensitivity by 5. Check if it works. Keep lowering it by 5 and repeat until you find a comfortable value. I recommend not going below 275. Now focus on what to do if the sensitivity is too low. Increase the sensitivity by 5. Check if it works. Keep increasing by 5 until you find the perfect value. Fix your sensitivity until you are able to move your aim like this. Personally, I use 400, since this helps me react quickly. Finally, let's move on to the ADS gyroscope sensitivity. Focus on the TPP no-scope sensitivity. Start by setting it to 280. Check if you can control your hipfire while making a jiggle movement. Make sure your aim is placed at head level. Adjust it by 5 every time until it becomes easier to control your aim. Use this training simulation to help decide if your aim is perfect. Copy the same settings I have shown. Save it. And now try this drill. Try to complete this drill as fast as possible. Focus on getting headshots. I personally use 400 for this. This is because it helps me react much quicker in close-range fights. And I have practice so I can keep my aim stable as well. Jump kills are also very easy to control with high sensitivity. Now we have completed fixing our hipfire sensitivity. Do you want perfect recoil? Be able to shoot moving targets? Then get ready because we are going to start fixing your scope recoil sensitivity. The first step is to equip these attachments. Make sure you always train with attachments. Next, make sure you disable horizontal swipe acceleration. I will first start with the 3x scope. You first want to focus on aim placement. You should be able to keep your aim steady even at long distances. For this, you need to adjust your gyroscope sensitivity. You want to select a value around 140. This allows you to place your aim on a target precisely. Make sure sure this is still suitable for close-range encounters as well. You should be able to move your camera from the left end to the right end. The gyroscope sensitivity is too low, so increase it to 190. Now I can easily shift my aim to the required target. And still keep your aim stable at long distances. Next, you also want to be able to shift your aim between long-distance targets. For this, you need to adjust your camera sensitivity. Set it to a low value like 25. Now you can shift your aim easily. Don't forget, you need to use your gyroscope to assist you. Now let's focus on recoil. Start by enabling your ADS gyroscope. Now focus on the 3x scope. Set it to 245. Usually, this will do the trick. But you should try values from 240 to 280 to see what works best for you. Make sure when controlling your recoil, you use your finger to slightly pull down your aim and use the gyroscope to assist with the recoil as well. Will be explained in detail at the end. Also, make sure you set the ADS value to 45. Try values from 35 to 50 to see what works best for you, but don't go out of this range. Now let's look at the 6x scope. Hold on a second. Look how ugly this scope is. I must be broke to be using this. Back to my beautiful 6x scope. Everyone uses the 6x scope after adjusting it to a 3x scope. This means the 3x scope sensitivity will apply to this. Now let's focus on the 4x scope. Once again, first make sure you can keep your crosshairs stable. Set the gyroscope camera sensitivity to 140. Or -50 from your 3x sensitivity and adjust from there until it's comfortable. Next, make sure you can switch your aim between targets easily. Set your camera sensitivity to 20. I recommend any value from 20 to 35. Remember, you should be able to do this for close-range targets as well. Now let's take a look at the recoil. For the recoil, make sure to focus on the ADS gyroscope sensitivity. Set this to 260. Or set it 15 higher than your 3x sensitivity and adjust until it works for you. Finally, make sure you can drag your aim easily, which is useful for vehicle sprays. I recommend 35. Use 10 less than your 3x sensitivity. With that, let's look at the red dot scope. This scope should be adjusted to suit close-range fights. Therefore, set the sensitivity as shown. Set the camera sensitivity to 60. ADS sensitivity to 85. And the gyroscope sensitivity set to 400. If this is too high, use 350 instead, and set the gyroscope ADS to 400 as well. Use 350 if 400 is too high for you. With that, you should be able to control your red dot scope at any distance. Now let's look at a few important tips for controlling recoil. Let's look closely on how to control your recoil. Watch closely. Place your aim on the target and pull down your thumb to control the recoil. And use the gyroscope for controlling horizontal recoil and assist with the vertical recoil as well. Targets within 200 meters. A continuous spray will work. But if your target is much further than this, resort to single tap fires or burst sprays. Practice your burst sprays as shown. Place your aim a little below the head level and fire 3 to 4 bullets per spray. That brings us to the end of this video. Here is my sensitivity code for PUBG global players. Pause the video and copy it. My code won't work for BGMI players, so pause the video and take down my sensitivity. The complete sensitivity has been shown. Was this video useful? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more useful content.
I'm alive, we're like diamonds in the sky.